A girl that I am seeing keeps making comments that bother me. Am I overly jealous or being manipulated? Note: I have Asperger's, so my social skills/interpretation skills are shit. Please keep this in mind if you read this and think I'm crazy. I've been seeing this girl for a couple months. We aren't in an official relationship but have went on several dates and have expressed interest in a relationship. We've also told each other that we're the only people we're talking to right now, which is true for me and I believe for her. One of the main reasons I've been skeptical about wanting a relationship with her is that I sometimes feel like comments that she makes are unnecessary and maybe slightly manipulative. A couple of examples. When I was asking her how a party she went to was, she mentioned that some guy tried dancing on her and she told him to stop. Now I know what you're thinking. She mentioned Sinead that she told him to stop. But why would she bring this up in the first place? It doesn't seem like there's a benefit to telling me this. Today we were talking on the phone and when I was asking her about her day, she mentioned how she saw her friend's ex-boyfriend at the store, who she is still acquainted with. Then she told me that they hugged and talked about some stuff that happened with her friend, and mentioned how she told that guy she is seeing me and mentioned that that guy has always been a good judge of guys she's seeing. Am I wrong for thinking it's a red flag when a girl has a guy that she used to judge other guys? My question is, what is the point of telling me that they hugged? It seems like there's no point to bring that part up as it adds no value to what we were talking about. On the other hand, she mentioned to him that she's seeing me, so I have no clue. Is it normal that I'd feel skeptical over incidents like these? The last couple of girls I've talked to made similar comments frequently, but I blew them off and they ended up being untrustworthy, which may be partially why I feel this way. I don't know if this is normal talk and I'm just oblivious to how things work and am overly skeptical/jealous, or if comments like this are reasons to be concerned. I genuinely want to know if I'm being stupid or not because I'd like to be in a relationship with this girl but don't understand why stuff like this is brought up. I personally wouldn't make comments like this if it were me and I'm interested in someone because I don't want to make them uncomfortable. I haven't expressed these feelings to her because I know I may be completely in the wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if I am, but I wouldn't if not either. I'm honestly just looking for others' thoughts so I can work on things myself and express my feelings towards her if necessary. Comment? In my opinion, I think you are overthinking this. You ask why she's telling you these elements of her story. Without knowing her, it sounds like she considers you a confidant and enjoys talking to you. It does not sound like she's trying to make you jealous, rather, likes giving full details when she tells a story. What else do you know about her and your relationship together? How does she treat you in other facets of your relationship? Is she generally trustworthy? I think you should think about the relationship holistically. That will answer your questions better than teasing apart small interactions. You know, there's also a lot of people who would claim omitting these kind of details is a sign that a person can't be trusted. Honestly, just don't say anything. She could be trying to make you jealously, but it doesn't read that way. She's just talking about her life. It's called a shit test. She's trying to make you jealous and see how you react. This is a good thing. If she was actually cheating, she wouldn't tell you these little stories. Be calm and tease her about it. For example, regarding the guy dancing on her leg, your response should be something like, "Sounds like I need to kick his ass." Regarding her male judge of character, think of something ridiculous. "Hey, if this guy is going to judge my character, make sure he knows about my secret obsession with geology." Story 2. My stepdad wants to be part of each other's lives, but I'm not sure I want to. This is pretty long because I feel like context is important to understand my relationship with my stepdad. My mom and stepdad got married when I was 2. We'll call him Ted. From the beginning, Ted was always hard on me. Ted had 2 daughters of his own from a previous marriage, and I have 3 older sisters. His daughters would rarely visit, but they'd be treated like royalty when they did. My sisters got a bit of Ted's abuse, but all moved out as teenagers to get away from him. My mom didn't try to stop them. My mom also never tried to stop him from hurting us. Especially me. I got it worse than anyone, I guess because I'm the boy. All of that to say that I was basically an only child from age 7. Around that time, Ted also discovered Christ and became obnoxiously religious. That did not stop his abuse, it just let him justify his actions as a means to ensure I honored my father. Anyway, he was also out of work at the time and had the bright idea to homeschool me. So he did. We'd study Bible studies every day and occasionally some other topic if time allowed. If I did poorly, I'd be lucky to get myself a bare-ass spanking with one of the bigger belts. Good news, though. He got a job and had to go back to work, so my mom had to take over the schooling. She did for a few weeks, but around this time she got addicted to some prescription drugs that made her retreat to her room. She'd sleep all day, and I'd be alone. Years went by like this. I didn't learn anything. We lived in the country and I had no friends or family. My interactions were with the people at church. That was it. At home I kept to myself and tried to avoid seeing him as best I could. His new job had him on the road during the week most of the time, so that was nice. But when he was in town he'd still manage to find something to pin me to the ground for, or punch me repeatedly and call me a faggot. When I was 16 I moved out. My stepdad didn't care, but my mom tried to fight it. I told her if she didn't let me leave I'd call CPS and tell them everything about his abuse and the lack of education they provided. So I got out. I worked hard. Really hard. I got away from it all. 20 years later, I'm successful. I have a wife and kids, a great job, and I'm happy. I shower my children with the excess of love I was never able to exchange with anyone growing up. Since moving out, however, Ted changed. He chilled out a little with the religion. He started drinking bourbon and listening to bluegrass. He gives hugs and cusses and just acts normal. We've got along okay over the last 12 or so years. I would have dinner with them or see them maybe once or twice a year. Everything was civil. But I've never been sure if his change is totally because he has changed, or because I'm no longer under his roof. Is he a good person now, or does he know that I'm stronger than him now and he has a heart condition? A little over a year ago my mom died. She was in hospice for a few months. My relationship with her was strained too just because of the neglect as a child, and the things she let him do to me. But I loved her. 2 months after she died Ted let my sisters and I know that he'd met someone on a dating site and he thinks they're going to get married. They broke up soon after. A few weeks after that, he met another woman that quickly moved in with him. Here we are about 9 months later and they're getting married in 3 weeks. He keeps reaching out to me because he wants me to meet her, and he wants us at the wedding. I just don't want to meet her. And I don't really think I want anything to do with him, either. And I feel awful for that because he's been in my life for so long and he was married to my mom, but also he ruined my life. He hurt me so much. It took me years to learn enough to get my GED after they denied me an education. It took me even longer to learn how to interact with people after all of the isolation. I hate him, but I also think my mom would want me to let him be a part of mine and my children's lives. But also, would she? He was on dating sites right after she died. Who knows? Maybe even while she was laying in her hospice bed. He's the man that woke me up from a nap yelling and punching me, and he's the man that cleaned the blood off me when I tried to kill myself. How do you handle those conflicting feelings and make a decision as to whether or not to include someone in your life? Should I just keep ignoring him until he gets the hint? Comment. Just tell him to stop. He doesn't get to brag with his son when he hasn't done anything to earn the dad title, not even a stepdad. Continue living your life, but he will not get the idea. You need to tell him. Mother is gone. There's no reason to keep up pretenses. You tried really hard to ruin my life. You literally tortured me, beaten me down, denied me education. What makes you think I want to see your face to be reminded over and over of what you've done to me? Best of luck and be proud of yourself. You and only you are the reason you are who you are today. Have you worked with a therapist to process all of this? I mean, it's a lot. Both of my parents were abusive and shitty when I was a kid, and I do have a relationship with each of them now. But I have very set boundaries and got apologies and did years of therapy. I don't mean to be cruel, but your mother, may her memory be a blessing, isn't here. So what she'd want or not want is irrelevant. What is healthiest for you? I get that a lot of older men just cannot stand being alone and rush into these relationships. Pretty common scenario when I worked in home health hospice. Half the time, they had someone waiting in the wings before the wife was dead. They had already grieved the loss of their partner during the months or years of illness. I don't actually fault them for that. But you're under no obligation to do anything with or for this man. All that said, I personally would rather regret the things I've done than the things I didn't do. So I would probably do with him what I did with my dad after 15 years of no contact, where everyone told me how much he had changed and I should give him a chance. I told him I'd draw a line in the sand and put the past behind us. But that moving forward, if he crossed any lines with me/my family, we were done for good. I told him how much his actions and inactions impacted me as a kid and then as a young adult. About the hours in therapy trying to sort it all out. I told him I'd give him another shot, but the price of admission to be in my life was that he had to be on his best fucking behavior ever with me. I only see him once a year, same with rest of fam as I live far away, but we talk about once a week and have built a good relationship over the last 15 years that I value. But I'm still always on guard for any hint of BS. I'm sorry for your loss. Good luck. My dad really wouldn't apologize either. He said I misremembered a lot of things or misunderstood or was poisoned by my mother after they divorced. Blah blah. That's where the line in the sand came in. I knew holding out for an apology from him would have me dying mad about it. I needed the peace for myself. Do what you need to do. The only feelings that matter in this situation are yours. Also, what does your wife say? Classic narcissist BS. I'm sorry, man. I don't know you, of course, but based on these comments, I don't think you are in a place yet where having a relationship with him makes sense. Be kind to your inner child. I'd just tell him you're not ready and you'll reach out if/when you are. The big question is why you feel warranted feeling at all guilty about this. Yes, he's been part of your life for so long. Yes, he was married to your mom, and so what? You have given up enough for him already. You owe him absolutely nothing. He never did right by you. He destroyed your life. He's not a father figure in any sense of the word. The only reason you feel guilt is because you've been trained to appease and believe you owe your abusers. You don't. Your mom didn't protect you. That was wrong. She didn't have solid judgment in life, whether for emotional or other reasons. She may have been sweet and loving, but that doesn't mean she knew what was best for you. She likely appeased him to prevent the boat from rocking. She should have left him and taken you, too. She didn't have the capacity to know what was best for you. You can honor her without honoring her wishes. You are responsible for yourself in this world. Engaging in these emotions that he taught you to feel is not doing justice to yourself. It is absolutely wrong to fail to protect yourself from your abuser. You owe nothing to him, and you owe nothing to your mom.